Om Bhadram Karnaive Shrunyamadevaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryajatraha Sthirairangai Tushtavagum Sastanubhihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
When they say in the teaching that reality is an illusion, is the device, does that mean that, is the meaning of that reality is only an illusion, that reality is not actually here or actually there, but only an appearance in consciousness? Is that what being implied? Thank you.
Does that mean that there is no separation? But if there is no separation, that doesn't mean that that everything is an illusion, does it? So there is no separation. So that in my consciousness now, it's difficult to see how there is no separation, because I feel this,
Best example of illusion, reality, like experience or reality being illusion is dream. In dream, there is somebody who dreams, and in dream you create one you, like one Derek or one Aditya. Like there is one Aditya that is created in my dream, who roams, whom we see, and the whole universe within. So it's all in your mind. In dream, there is one created you, which is different from the dreamer, because dreamer is somewhat not there. Like there is one dreamer, and there is one other than dreamer, there is one Aditya moving in my dream. And the whole universe along with it. But it suddenly goes.
but it's a what?
It suddenly goes.
It suddenly goes, yes.
So dream with respect to wake state is illusion. Waking state with respect to meditative state is illusion.
So that means it's more than no separation. It's a lot more. So
Yeah,
this is how I understood it.
Yeah, it's lot more than. It's lot more. But to understand it conceptually, quoting Nagarjuna, one of the Buddhist master, he said, if you do not understand illusion properly, it's like putting your finger in the hole of a snake without knowing its mantra.
Without knowing its
Mantra.
The mantra through which you can cure yourself.
Like
If
snake charmers,
if-
they
yeah.
are said to have some mantra, the snake will not bite or the...
oh,
like it will not be effective even if it bites, the snake bite.
uh-huh.
So they have those kind of mantras. So he's saying that it's like without really understanding what that is. It means you are putting your finger into the snake hole without having protection for you.
So any attempt to understand this intellectually doesn't help. You have to actually see your thoughts. The only way to understand what illusion is, you stay with your thoughts or your mind. Don't sleep, don't plan, like have enough sleep, if Sushupti says is there. Don't plan, then just keep watching, and then don't do anything. The 4 steps. First is don't sleep, second is don't plan, like don't engage, third is keep watching, fourth is don't do anything. And then the actual illusion, what actually is meant by illusion arises. And more it becomes strong in your life, more you are able to not to engage with your thoughts, your mind. And more you are not engaging, more it becomes illuminated. And more it gets illuminated, more you do not engage. So it's like supporting each other. This is something where you cannot cheat yourself.
You say these 4 steps, you don't really mean actually not to sleep, just mean being vigilant. So what do you mean?
The
by
first
that?
step is you will sleep for sure.
Yeah.
And when body has rested enough, then that sleep will merge into planning automatically. When one is rested enough, then like in retreat, during later part, what people generally tend to do, okay, after retreat I will go do this, do that, get enlightened, all this. That is after when you have slept enough and like you have worked with little things. So don't do that. Like after some time that, like don't engage into.
Don't concern yourself with the next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah, like engaging with first is Laya prabodhyat chitta. Laya prabodhyat chitta. That when you are sleepy, just don't force yourself to sleep, kind of, don't blank out. Because if Sushupti says is there, like leftover sleep is there, body and mind needs sleep, it has to be given.
Has to be.
Give him. And second step is don't engage in the plannings, thoughts, like conscious engagement into thinking, which also consists of trying to understand things. Yes. Why I am speaking so much, the only cause is I think for you, so that you do not have to. It's like Swami people like they are thought for us. So thinking is like itching. Like you itch and it's somehow you feel it's okay. So there is some tendency in human being to think. So if you can satisfy your thinking habit with thought of others, fair enough. It is just we need to think or we need to have only so much thought as our tendency to think stops. Thought in itself is not a big thing as we have given ascribed to it. So in second step, don't actively think. This is something that you have to do. This by simply merely watching doesn't help.
Because, I mean, our schooling, of course, is based on that. We do have to actively think, and if that's otherwise, then you wouldn't be able to, to read or write. Or
yeah, but in meditation, what we are trying to do is to not actively think. And then what happens in our world also? Like we need to deal with world. So what happens somehow? We do think in a pattern. We tend to solve our problems and deal with daily life in a fixed way. And somehow, when we are doing this type of practice and not engaging into thoughts actively, somehow a solution comes out of the box, which is more befitting and more apt than what we would have thought out. Completely, like it comes somehow. So having that trust, if something you really feel like I need to think, oh, this is very important thought and I need to think it out. Or this is even the things like Aditya said this, Rajaji said this, and I really need to think it out. So just try to minimize the urge. Like it becomes too strong, then please ask. Otherwise, like the answer is not to the question. It is to dissolve the question. Thoughts are meant not to solve the question, it is to dissolve the question.
So, the answer is to dissolve the question, and the thoughts are also there to dissolve.
Yes, thoughts or answers are meant to dissolve the question, not to solve it. So questions, queries, they are like spikes. So somehow you need to dissolve it. So by thinking or answering, and once that gets solved, a state of rest is. So second state is not to try not to think actively. And this is not commandment. If you really feel the urge to think out, please satisfy that need. Third thing, like the more advanced state of it, is like you will have flying thoughts. The thoughts, images, memories, pictures, sensations that keep on floating. Shakashayam vijaniyat. And just remain aware of them. And fourth is, once you reach a state somewhat of an equanimity, just don't do much. Don't do anything. And most of us are not in all these four states at one time. We might be at one or second or third or fourth, or we might be at times fourth, then first. So you have to see for yourself. You do not have to cross all the four stages in one go. Like in one sitting of 45 minutes, you may not have all these four things. So just see for yourself what is working and go for it.
I think they're not really very clearly delineed four steps. They kind of merge into one another.
Yeah, merging into one another. These are not steps higher or lower.
Yeah.
These are four
Just
horizontal, horizontal thing. You might be from 1 to 4th, 4th to 3rd. Maybe for months you are in one stage. For months you are in 4th stage. The only thing is, when people are instructed to meditate in one of these particular way, and that may not fit. Like somebody having lot of plannings and lot of ideas to do things, and if he is asked to simply watch, it's not going to work for him.
These are primarily instructions for formal meditation.
Yeah.
All right, well, good. Because I thought they were just for being in daily life.
Like for
Also, because meditation really helps you to be in your daily life.
Yeah.
And actually, like, like what they mean from illusion. Illusion is like that is mostly very much misunderstood word. The illusion. So, like, if you be watchful, like in yourself, say you plant something, you have something to perform, and you plant. And of course, in planning, there will be like planning 1, planning 2, planning 3, planning 4. And when actually you act upon, maybe these 4 plannings, is not same as you plan. All the time experiences are like that. So that means, like when you are acting upon, you already have something there, and you act upon from that. So that means, the investment in planning really gone in vain. Like, our daily experiences say that most of the investment in planning goes in vain, because when we really have to act, maybe we always act differently than our plans.
That's true.
So then, that's what is called Maya or illusion. Illusion is the planning. But actually, when you acted upon, that was a different story.
Yeah.
And every day we experience that, but we never leave planning, kind of, like it's kind of it's taking Mariana or something like it, like that. So, what they mean from illusion, if that can be left out, then we have enough energy, enough time to meditate also.
Okay. Okay. Well, there's a word in English called winging it. People who think, well, I don't have to plan. I'll just wing it, meaning on the spur of the moment I'll do. But often that falls flat because people.
Also, yes.
I can tell if a speaker is well prepared or not.
Yeah.
So sometimes the speaker
is not well prepared.
Yeah, then I think, well,
Yeah, but then when you have to speak about a subject.
Yeah, about a subject, exactly.
Certainly their preparation is needed.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have to have reference point.
Okay. Are you talking about in general life, the life
in general life,
okay.
Like that.
Okay.
Of course, like when you have to go to teach a class.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Then you have to prepare yourself.
Yeah. I mean, it's
because it's very much, what is already has been said.
Yeah.
To teach that.
Right.
So their preparation is very important.
Oh, good.
And we have to really do that.
Right.
But there are things, where preparation is not needed.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
over-prepared.
only there, use your ability.
Yeah, well, good. That's helpful.
Yeah,
I can see that. Sometimes you can over-prepare even in little things, and then you get disappointed if things don't work out.
Certainly.
So just to briefly say these 4 points that I understand is don't try to actively think, don't try to actively make your mind engage in thinking.
Bring it back.
Sorry?
Bring it
back to
meditativeness, to the eye.
To the
like also another experience we get every day, like you are in a mood of unhappiness.
Right.
But then there are times in between you need a break. Kind of you have a break. That mood is not effective anymore.
Yes.
That mood is effective, and then a break comes, and then that mood is not effective anymore.
No.
So that is also an illusion.
Yes.
Like if anything cannot be effective all the time, that means I can have a way to get rid of.
Yeah.
Maybe I know or I don't know. That is a different story. But our daily experiences say that of course I go out of that or I go in that. So this is also an illusion.
The illusion is to enter in the mood or to come out of the mood.
No, you have a way to be out of it.
Yes.
But still you are not being out of it.
I'm not completely free of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is also an illusion.
Yeah.
You really know
Yeah.
that there are times when I am not affected by that. And then again I choose to be affected.
Be affected by it. Yes, that's true. And then a further point was not trying to figure things out actively when while you're in this meditation. Not use the time for figuring things out.
Yeah.
And so the answer is there to dissolve the questions, so that you don't.
Yeah, because as questions are there, you have to meet them. Like it's like when one of your teeth is gone, tongue always goes there. So it's like as questions are there, mind always goes there. And when they are less, you have more time to be free of thinking.
Okay, all right. And then there will be these, you call them flying thoughts, they're images and sensations, and to just let them flow. So, and then when this state of equanimity comes, not to do anything.
Yeah, because it's like, it's it's like your full state,
Right.
we can call, Like, all other states are a wing of you. But this is like full army,
Yes.
You are having really full army. And there only you can be restful with the full protection. And when anyone, any shot is anywhere, you can run for that.
Yeah. And any what?
Any kind of, like any enemy is there.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Because it's like, like your full kind of,
Centered state.
like, you have full ability there. All ability is there.
Yeah.
Because we have this learned abilities, which are like a wings of, an area. But there you have like all abilities,
Okay.
but without any memory, without any words.
So you're not drawing on learned expertise.
Yeah, like, because you somehow, words come after.
Okay. Thanks. Thank you very much.
For me, the thoughts that come nowadays, they're usually just sort of, well, most of the time, but now I don't have so many problems I try to think through, so there's not much sort of planning or trying to work things out going on. If there is, then I go into it sort of properly, but otherwise, these thoughts that just come and go, are they what you call flying? It's just like a sort of meaningless thoughts, but I may not just suddenly think of something quite irrelevant or, whatever. It just, I mean, even, I mean, it can even be things like, because in these last few days we kind of filled up with all this teaching and some sort of words will come from there. I hear some mantra-like sound or, all sorts of stuff just coming and going. So that's a sort of a different kind of thought. Than
Kashai. It's called Kashai.
Kashai.
Yeah.
Is that the same as these
These
flying?
floating thoughts.
Now, hang on.
Yeah.
Is that the same as these flying thoughts you were talking about? And so is there any good or effective technique for sort of getting rid of them?
Just knowing them. Because the moment you engage with them, they will again become reality.
No, I don't engage with them, but I just see them.
Yeah, just keep seeing.
They're just coming
Keep
and going.
seeing.
Huh?
Keep seeing.
Just let them be there.
Yeah, let them be.
I mean, I don't have to actively think,
No.
or I mustn't get involved in planning from this thought, because I know it's just some sort of totally irrelevant sort of a thought that's coming up.
Like the example is given, like you have this garlic in a plate. Garlic has very strong smell. So the engaging with thought is like you have garlic in the plate. And these flying thoughts are like you take out the garlic and a smell is there. So if there is garlic, you have to actively take out. But if the smell is there, just let it be.
And these sort of useless thoughts just coming and going, like that, what did you call them?
Kashaya.
Kashari.
Kashai. In Kashai. Kashai.
Okay. Are they sort of a hindrance to equanimity, or
No.
can they just sort
Like
of be there as long as
this
they're
is
not bothering that one?
this is what I wanted to talk today. These flying thoughts are not hindrance to equanimity. This takes a lot of time to understand. These not to react with them is equanimity. People think that when there will be no thoughts, that is a stage of meditation. It's like you are saying if there is no sound, then that is meditation. It's like saying if there is no baby shouting, then that is a state of meditation. It's like saying if there is everything is all perfect and then I am silent, then that is a state of meditation. No. Equanimity means being equanimous in spite of thoughts, in spite of babies shouting, in spite of drums playing. That is what is meant by equanimity.
And dogs barking.
And dogs barking. So it's just a matter of sounds outside, like outside your skin and inside your skin. So if somebody who is very much reactive to sound of babies or dogs barking, we do not call it a state of meditation. So what if the sound is happening inside the skin? This is a wrong view propagated somehow like in last century. Before that it is neither in the Buddhist text nor in any like absence of thoughts is not equanimity. Ultimately, it may lead to absence of thought, which is higher. But equanimity, when we are talking about equanimity, it's not absence of thoughts. It's being equanimous in spite of the thoughts.
But because these kashayas, we call them, have no emotional charge, that find them difficult, find them easy not to get involved in them.
It's very easy to not to get involved.
But it's also, for me, important not to get annoyed that they're coming, because that's the main, for me, with these flying thoughts, the main problem about them is I get annoyed.
Because
I'd like some peace and quiet, and all these stupid thoughts are coming.
But then also you are engaged, like
by wanting to get rid of them.
Yes.
I see.
Like years back, I was listening in Bodh Gaya, one song of Kabir. Dolat dige, na bolat bisre, as upadesh deda. This samadhi, this state of equanimity is not one which moves when you move. Dolat dige, na bolat visre. And you cannot forget it if you are speaking. This is not a casual thing, which will, like a few sounds in the head, will destroy it. Waves are not capable of drowning the ocean. Ultimately, what is thought? It's movement of mind. And what is mind? Just some ripples in the consciousness, if there is one.
If there is
one consciousness. If there is no consciousness, then then we have to, like we were talking, like we have to deal with everything. So mind is a ripple in the consciousness, and thought is ripples in the mind. however powerful a wave would be, it cannot drown the ocean.
So equanimity is like resting in the pure awareness and within, as it were, the pure awareness, there can either be absolute quiet or there can be things going on. It doesn't really make any difference.
Ripples cannot drown ocean.
Well, this is, because I don't mind so much.
Because what has happened, somehow mind, thoughts, it's so blamed. It has become another religion. You know, like, don't lie, and if you lie, you go to hell. So the new religion is don't think. If you think, you will be, this power of they have made a sin out of thinking, thoughts. A state of samadhi is where their thoughts are not there. But
where thoughts are
not there, but that doesn't mean thinking is something bad, sick, as if, the word is, I find sick. That something sick. And mind something as something very bad. Where from which psychology they got it? Because in unconscious or mind you don't have only bad things. You have good things also. It's not that you have suppressed your anger, so there is anger. You have suppressed your laughter also. So mind is not a bad thing, so to say. This
it's best tool.
Yeah.
But tool. Not master.
Because I've always thought of it a bit like, I feel it a bit like, if these thoughts come, the sort of aimless thoughts coming and going, I've also had the feeling that this is rather like, if you can't sit still, you keep on doing this. Some people are always doing something or other, and I don't have that problem. I can see it's.
They are engaging in it. So the formula, if you get engaged, is to bring it back. Like somebody asked Raman Maharshi, like, what should I do? I have lot of thoughts. So he said, do pranayama. Do japa, do yoga, exercise, physical, drink water, have proper food. There are different remedies for different problems, which cannot be, Go to a temple, do kirtan, sing. Stay with people who are very quiet, who are deeply silent.
So then, is it important when we sit and meditate, not so thinking, oh, I must achieve some kind of samadhi, a no thought state?
No.
Because that is what samadhi is, isn't it?
But you cannot. Yeah, samadhi is let's say, could be a thoughtless state. I will tell you one story. I was studying in Varanasi and used to live in a cowshed. And in Varanasi you have those smoking people. So they try all their small stealing and things to get their dose.
Stealing, you said?
Yeah, stealing.
Small stealing?
Small stealing, like if there is something outside, they will just take away. You know those back, because they have to get their puff. Yeah. So one night, one of the person, whom I also know and everybody know that he's a hashish man, charas man, he stole gas cylinder. And everybody shouted, but nobody saw him actually who was he. So he took it like, say, we open we cook, so there also they had one open ashrams, you know. So he took gas cylinder and he tried to run away. But people awoke, so he threw it somewhere, came back from another route, and because he was our neighbor, and he also started shouting. Thief, thief, chor, chor, pakado, pakado. You know?
Clever, I like that.
Mind is like that sometimes. The very thief shouts, I want silence.
Very what?
Very thief shouts that I want silence.
So when I saw this, immediately, like 2-3 days later, I got like, oh, this is the thief which is shouting, thief, thief, thief. So with your this mind wants this, mind wants, that is at that very moment know the mind as mind.
Mine says have a chocolate cookie, and then afterwards says
Sometimes
I wouldn't have eaten that if I were you.
Yeah. So sometimes you can treat yourself with cookies. If it is too much engaging into, just know the mind as just mind. Like it's not like shut up. You just say, yeah. Like what? Somebody said, whatever mind says, say, yeah. You know, like you don't say it's shut up. You say, oh yeah, yes. Like whatever mind says, yeah. You can have this.
I have a thing called tinnitus, and you have a permanent sound in your ear, and it's there all the time. And then when I decided, okay, John, make this a kind of a lesson that the true silence is not the absence of sound. So I managed to stop bothering about this thing. But I can see your point then. I should have the same attitude towards these stupid thoughts that keep on coming and going.
Don't call them stupid.
Okay. Yeah, all right, I get your point. Yeah. These thoughts that come and go.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Irrelevant.
Yeah. Like yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Like yeah. Equanimity is being equanimous in spite of thoughts, not in absence of it. Because you cannot undo your thoughts, because you are not the doer. Like if somebody says, I will not think, it's like thought thinking will itself, the moment you stop engaging, it may, I'm calling it may, disappear. It will disappear, but I am saying may, because you do not think for 5 minutes and then think, oh, it has not disappeared yet. It's like it's not under your control. It's not. It's like an illusion of control. Anyone feeling this one? Quote, you have to let go of your illusion of control.
So people who learn techniques just to totally quieten the mind, that's not really very helpful.
Like one of the great poet, Tulsidas, like who wrote Ramcharitmanas, he has said there are 3 things which if you try to do, you will spend your life in vain. One thing is to change the world. Like you will spend your life in vain, and you will have not happiness in your dream also.
Okay.
First is to change the world.
Happiness in dreams.
You will lose happiness in dream also.
Like result of that will be, if you want to change the world, result of that will be, even in dreams you cannot have happiness.
Okay.
Second thing is mana nirodh, to suppress the mind.
Cannot be in fight with your mind.
Like completely suppress. Because there are some very deep rest. I do not deny that. It's such a deep rest when your mind is completely. But we have one natural thing, sleep. Why to, that is to put the mind. Shankara he has refuted it very much. Like he called it, this view of meditation as the main mal, like main opponent. Like suppressing, because by very dint of force you suppress it. The moment that is gone, again it comes. Second thing is man nirodh, and third thing is to teach somebody who is by nature, like he's engaged into something else.
Yeah.
So it's like khal prabodh jag sodh. मन निरोध एते जे करही सपनहु सुख न सुबोध ते नर फोकट ते मरही, something like they will die in vain, and there is no happiness.
So meditation or practice where you're like focusing on an object and just,
is one practice.
but would you say that's then
No.
not a good thing to do, or am
No,
I confusing
it's
something
a good
here?
thing. It's a good thing. But don't expect by focusing on one thing that your thoughts should all go.
No.
You see, both are related, but not the same. Like if an active desire to suppress all your thought is there, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That's a result of something.
So if one is doing a meditation just concentrating on an object, then the benefit of that is to be able to stabilize the mind, keep the mind focused, but there can still be little thoughts going on.
It's like you consciously trying to digest your food, which is dangerous. Eat properly, chew it well, have good food. But if you try to engage with your digestion, it is not recommended. So if you have to focus on something. But consciously trying to suppress all your thoughts, it's like trying to how much bile should be secreted by in the food and how much those juices and all the 200 juices, trying to control that, it's not helpful.
And if I understood you correctly yesterday, that meditation always has a focal point, or may be very gentle, but it has something
it's
like
better,
an anchor. It doesn't matter.
It's better to have
breath,
anchor.
if it's the breath, or if it's a mantra, or if it's
that I said you in the night, not
yeah,
that
yeah.
was for you.
Okay. But you said it also in class. They said that.
Yeah, but in class I told that if we try to understand illusion, it should be in respect to something.
Right.
And that respect is I.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is in that case the center point, or the focal point.
For you maybe that focusing on I is not like, you have to actively engage into something else. So doing mantra or focusing on breath is more, because actually you cannot stay on I with so much turmoil going on.
That's true, yeah.
So it's not helpful.
No.
Focusing on I is like more passive.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So like more active is breath and even more active is mantra.
Yeah.
Absence of thought is the result which you cannot interfere into.
Which you cannot
interfere, you cannot control. Equanimity means being equanimous in spite of thoughts, not in absence of.